Hey everyone, Dan Mortimer with eXp Realty bringing you another weekly real estate market update. This is with data as of July 21st, 2025 for Henderson and Las Vegas real estate markets. So let's go ahead and dive into the data from the last 7 days, and I'll share some of my thoughts with you as well on the market as a whole. So first, in the last 7 days, we had 969 new listings hit the market. We had another 155 properties that came back on the market, meaning it had a buyer and seller had a deal in place. For whatever reason, deal didn't close, money was not exchanged, property goes back on the market as active. We had 1,135 homes that had a price decrease of some kind. Could be $1, could be $100, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, anywhere in between. It's kind of interesting. I see some people drop their price by $5 or $1, and it doesn't always make sense to me, other than they're just trying to make sure it stays in front of buyers. But buyers can kind of see through a $100 price reduction. That doesn't really move the needle. But anyway, 1,135 of them in the last 7 days. Getting into the under contracts, this was something that dipped a little bit this past week. We had 299 properties go into under contract show status, and another 377 that went into under contract no show status. So in total, you're talking about 676 homes that went under contract compared to 969 new listings. So the new listings is down a little bit, but the under contracts are down quite a bit compared to what we've seen the last couple of weeks. We've been over that 700 number of properties going under contract. So that dipped a little bit. We also saw the new listings dip slightly. Getting into the solds, we had 573 homes that were put into sold status. Deal closed out, money was exchanged, keys were exchanged, and the buyer is in their new property. So 573 of those in the last week. And we had another 73 that were put into coming soon status. For those that are new to the channel, coming soon is kind of a pre-market listing, means it'll be active on the MLS within the next 30 days or less. Usually it's quite a bit less. They usually just want to get photos and make sure the remarks all look good and have everything ready to go for when they go fully active on the market day one. So let's get into the active numbers. As of this data coming out on July 21st, there are 7,510 single family homes that are active on the market. We have 1,540 condos on the market. Excuse me, and another 1,191 townhomes. So again, kind of following along the trend that we've seen, the inventory continues to climb. We're still seeing a pretty sizable gap between the number of properties going under contract compared to the number of new listings hitting the market. And the number of solds has stayed pretty consistent. But as you've seen in my monthly reports, the numbers are still down quite a bit as far as the number of transactions that are going. Now, the median sale price, I mentioned it in my monthly update. June, we went back up to that $485,000 median sale price for single family homes, hitting that record again that was set at the beginning of 2025. So we haven't necessarily seen a big change in the median sale price, but what I have seen over the last several months really, but especially in the last 60 days, we've definitely seen sellers get more aggressive on price, on terms, on things that they're offering, credits and anything else to try to attract as many buyers as possible. This market has been incredibly challenging this year for sellers, but I think the encouraging thing for sellers is there are still buyers out there. They're still going after homes. It's just, regardless of your price range, regardless of your location, you just have to do everything possible so that on day one, when your property hits the market, you are in the best possible position for success. And if you're not seeing the activity that you're looking for, it typically means you need to adjust your price because there are only more options coming on the market at lower prices. So having that flexibility, being willing to adjust and beef up any sort of incentive to attract buyers is more critical now than ever. That being said, it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next, I would say, 30 to 60 days. There's been a lot of talk about interest rates. There's a lot of talk about things going on at the Fed, and I don't necessarily want to get into any details about that or make this a political discussion, but it does sound like there may be some things changing that will have a big impact on mortgage interest rates. Now, if you are a buyer, if you are watching this, I would say the strategy should be ahead of the curve. Be ahead of the curve, because let's just say next week we happen to see something drastic change and the interest rates go down to, let's just say 5%. Right now they're at like 6 3/4, something like that. It varies by the day, so don't hold me to this. But as of today, from what I saw, yeah, it's about 6 3/4, depending on the type of loan that you're getting. It may be higher or slightly lower. If we happen to see the interest rates go down to 5%, that opens up a massive pool of buyers that have this pent-up demand that will flood the market. If it goes, even if it goes down to 6 or 5.5 or really anywhere in between, I think if we start to see the interest rates drop and buyers start to see, hey, my monthly payment just dropped $150, my payment just dropped $200, we are going to see some of these buyers that have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for something to give. They will flood the market. Now, it's not going to happen in a day, but it will happen very quickly. So if you're a buyer that's looking at a home and you're thinking about pulling the trigger on something soon, but you're waiting for more attractive pricing or more attractive rates, as soon as you see news that the rates are dropping, be ahead of the curve. Don't wait it out, because the flip side of that is when that pent-up demand floods the market and we start seeing homes going much quicker, you're going to have a lot more competition and you're likely going to be paying a higher price. Now, that's not necessarily the worst thing, but if you're ahead of the curve, you can lock in your home. You can still likely get favorable terms with your seller that you're working with. And it gives you an opportunity to get locked in and get your home set up at the price that you want at a better interest rate than if you wait 6 months, a year, or something like that until the market is absolutely bonkers again and we're back to where we were in 2021. Now, I want to, as kind of an afterthought to that, don't hold me to any of that, because we could see this trend continue and the rates stay high and they're in the high 6s for the next 3 to 5 years. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, but there are some things that could shake up our interest rates. And like I said, I see in Las Vegas, I see a ton of pent-up demand, a lot of frustrated buyers that are wanting to get into the market, as well as a lot of sellers that are looking to trade up, trade down, move across town, whatever it may be, that are holding until things improve. So that's what I would say. Be ahead of the curve, because if you're behind the curve, you're likely going to pay way more than you're comfortable with, and you're throwing yourself to the mercy of the market after that big wave of activity. So I hope you guys got some value from this video. I try to post at least a couple of videos a week on my YouTube channel. Sometimes it's just a weekly update, but I try to do property walkthroughs, news updates, and I also try to post things on my social media accounts. But if you got any kind of value out of this video, there are 2 ways that you can support this channel. The first, subscribe. It's really easy. Get you notifications anytime I post new videos. And the second way that you can do it is by, there's a link in the description of this video. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home, whether it be 9 days from now, 90 days from now, anywhere in between, or even beyond the 90 days, I would love to set up just a quick meeting with you, learn a little bit more about your situation, what your real estate goals are, and we can put a plan in place to help you to achieve those goals. It can be over the phone, it can be in person, it can be over Google Meet or Zoom or whatever you prefer. It really just gives me a chance to get to know you a little bit better, help us to get familiar with one another, and put a plan in place to help you to achieve whatever it is that you want to do in real estate, whether that's buying, selling, investing, coming into Las Vegas, getting out of Las Vegas, whatever that may be. So again, that's the update for this week. I will see you at the next one.